Okay, so before we start, just wanted to say we're doing a live show.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be showing Who Framed Roger Rabbit for our first birthday podcast.
Yay.
And you should all come along because we're going to be doing a live podcast afterwards, and you can all get involved and share your theories and queries and just absolute nonsense, really.
Yeah, you come and talk to our faces directly.
Yeah, for better or for worse. So that's on June 13th at the Pavilion in Reading. It's like an old 1920s cinema that still has a cinema room, even though most of it's now like some sort of big old
Church,
community centre
yeah.
thing. But yeah, we've got a cool cinema room, so you'll get to see Who Framed Roger Rabbit on the big screen. It's at 7:00. Tickets are £3.
£3.
And yeah, it should be a really good, fun evening.
Yeah, get involved.
Get in amongst it. June 13th, the Pavilion, £3. Hello and welcome back to the Space Jam Continuum, the show where we try to make a cohesive cinematic universe out of something that was never meant to be one. I'm Chris McLennan.
I'm Carl Noble.
And I think we should just get stuck in.
I think we should just get right involved.
Oh wait, no, I wanted to ask you something
Go on,
about
then.
something that happened the other day.
Okay.
Well, it's happened a lot before, but like it's happened enough now I've drawn a trend.
Right.
What is it with people from Newcastle, if they find another person from Newcastle, they're just really excited and they're best friends now?
I don't know.
And they're not really. They're clearly not really. They just
No.
feel the need to actually just acknowledge each other, like over-acknowledge each other every time they see.
I don't know.
each other.
Like it's just odd to hear that accent anywhere else, really. So when you do hear it, you're like, oh, somebody who understands my troubles.
Is it just because, on the whole, people from Newcastle don't leave Newcastle? Or
Well, no, because I mean the thing is,
because I hear a lot of people
like-
from Newcastle.
Like,
but-
like as a trend, people especially from the northeast, once all the mines had closed and the shipyards were done, like they all kind of moved away looking for work. So it's not like they don't travel about, like
but people
they do.
are really excited, like because if I've been in other countries,
Yeah.
and met people from Reading,
Yeah.
and that doesn't excite me at all. It's just like, all right,
Well, no, but
I'm
I mean,
not like, oh really, whereabouts?
oh right,
Whereas like you know,
don't.
no.
Are you not interested at all?
No, not in the slightest.
Weird.
And then
Yeah,
you sort of get a similar thing with Scottish people, because they
Yeah.
sort of band together, but they don't seem happy about it. They just seem like they're doing it out of
That's
necessity.
just what's happening.
Like in a film where they're surrounded and they have to get back to back to
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
Like the Scottish people sort of gather together, but I never hear them being particularly excited about whereabouts
Whereabouts they're from. No, but I mean, like that's an entire country and it's quite widespread. So
Yeah,
you
but
know.
that's the only similar thing I've seen. It just seems to be Geordies.
maybe we just
That seems to be what it is.
we're really friendly.
Well,
That's what it is. We all like each other. People down here they'll all hate each other.
well, that might be the case, but it's specifically Newcastle. Like, there's just other places where people are friendly, I presume.
Well, I mean, I should hope so. Should we?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're not going to get. I don't know the answer.
It's been bugging me over
Yeah.
the past, like as we've been going around putting posters up and things like that, and it's just like it does just happen everywhere. It's just like
Yeah,
if people hear the accent, they literally will spark up a conversation
yeah.
because they've heard your voice.
And the thing is I do it to be like if I hear that that accent, I'll speak to them and be like, oh yeah, where you from?
It's some
Oh,
weird
whereabouts? And I don't know
knee-jerk
why.
reaction.
Yeah, it's just an inbuilt thing.
It just has to happen.
Yeah,
It's just
I've
an
got to.
impulse.
I've got to get involved.
Right, well, good to know. Good to know, like that. If I need to distract you at any point,
Bring a
from
Geordie in.
like just bung a Geordie over there, and you'll be like, "Oh, where you from?" And
Yeah,
then I'll be
I
like,
gotta
and
go
then,
over here.
and then I'll do whatever nefarious,
Schemes you got.
schemes I was going to.
Yeah.
It's good to
Oh,
know.
No, yeah. That's
Speaking
fine.
of nefarious schemes,
Yeah.
it's a Bugs and Elmer number.
It is a Bugs and Elmer number. Hair Tonic.
Hair tonic.
From November 10th, 1945.
Still rocking with the hair thing, but
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. We're watching Hair Tonic. It's a Bugs and Elmer number from November 10th, 1945. Get in amongst it. Now, I know Bugs is a beloved sort of character,
Yeah.
but "and that's the end" is not a catchphrase. You
It's-
can't just
it's not.
burst out a drum at the end and go, "and that's the end."
And that's the end. Chewing on a carrot.
It's
No.
like he's half-assed that job.
Yeah, so like as to why he's taken over from Porky.
I don't know, but he started putting that Bugs Bunny thing at the start as well. Like after it's Looney Tunes, it's always Bugs Bunny just on his own name, carved in big stone.
Oh, maybe I should do that.
Cal, no. You recline on it.
I'm thinking opener for the live show. Like me and you just get like
Big
giant
names.
cut out names, and we just
recline on some of them.
recline on them and like pull a screen up and down. Huh?
You like that?
Yeah. How do you think about them?
That sounds costly.
It does sound costly. Yeah. Oh well. I mean, we're not doing it. I don't mean, well, too bad I've ordered them already. I mean, well, it was a good idea while it lasted. That type of well.
Okay. Shall we talk about the cartoon?
Yeah, I think we should. It was odd. Like Elmer, I don't know, he seems like he's settling down. Like he's got himself quite a nice house.
Yeah, but he's back in his like city clothes. He's wearing his little bowler. But then, like, we normally see him when he's out hunting. So that's probably just what he looks like when he's at home.
Yeah, I thought, or maybe he's realised that he can't get so much on welfare anymore. He's going to have to go out and get a job, and this is now like job Elmer.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he's settling down. He's just like getting himself a job and stuff. But he has, what I had noticed was he's bought a house or built a house entirely on
it's up on bricks.
Yeah, it's up on bricks so that there is no contact with soil.
Yeah.
The house isn't in contact with soil. Like the front porch stretches out quite far.
Which is prudent because he's bringing home a rabbit to make rabbit stew.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want that rabbit getting out because he's encountered this rabbit before.
He has encountered
this rabbit. Because it's our boy Bugs.
Exactly.
And we know he can travel through, straight through soil.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want any contact with soil. He doesn't want him just taking up a floorboard or something.
I bet he doesn't even have houseplants. And any houseplants he does have are fake.
Houseplant was going to be my answer to how Bugs got all those costumes. He just gets in the pot and just sinks in.
Possibly, yeah.
Because we haven't really thought about it before, but like the soil can't have to be interconnected.
No.
He can just get into as long as he can get underneath it.
Yeah.
He's done.
As long as he can submerge himself.
I just think if he puts a dusting down,
yeah,
he can just sink into that.
Yeah.
Be gone. Anyway, Elmer's trying to make some rabbit stew. He takes Bugs back. Bugs escapes, but he's left Elmer in there under the impression that there's a thing called rabbititis.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Nah, this is too good of a bit. I can't just leave and escape. I've got to milk this for all it's worth. I've got to heckle this character." He says.
And he does.
So he really goes to town on it. So he convinces Elmer that there's something called rabbititis, and then Elmer kicks him out the house. But he puts a sign up on the door and comes back in. And so when Elmer goes, get out, and opens the door, it's got a sign on Elmer's house saying quarantine for rabbititis. No one can leave the premises. And so he's stuck in there with Bugs, a contaminated rabbit. Bugs tries to convince him that he doesn't show any of the symptoms.
Yeah.
He goes, you're not seeing spots before your eyes, are you? And he manifests.
Yeah.
He's got prestidigitation powers.
It's just bloody impressive.
Yeah, and they appear just between them.
Yeah.
And Elmer's like, oh no, I am seeing spots. And it's like, and then he goes, my tongue's not coated. He's got a little coat for his tongue because why wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, if you can, you would.
Then he fakes a fit.
Yeah.
And so Elmer becomes convinced that he's in danger of rabbititis, and it continues as Bugs trying to convince Elmer he does have rabbititis. He returns to the house. He snips out. He puts some sort of furry top hat.
Yeah, like a furry hat and a fake beard on.
Fake beard and big glasses, and he comes back in and introduces himself as Dr. Kill Patient. And
which is a great name, by the way. Dr. Kill Patient.
He goes into another room for a couple of seconds, then calls Elmer in.
Yeah, he goes in under the pretense of examining the rabbit.
Yes. Yeah, he goes, I'm going to go in and examine the rabbit.
Yeah.
He goes in there for a bit. He paints spots everywhere.
Yeah.
Then he invites Elmer in and convinces Elmer that he's,
seeing
spots.
Yeah.
And Elmer's like, oh, but I'm not turning into a rabbit. I'm not showing signs of being a rabbit. And Bugs is taking the mirror out of the frame so he can go and look at yourself in the mirror. And he just goes behind the frame and mimics his every action, which I know you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. So, like, we've seen this happen in multiple cartoons where characters have just impersonated other people on the other side of a mirror or on the other side of a fence.
Yeah, you see, I find it reasonably easy to explain away Bugs doing it. Because Bugs can Groundhog Day this thing over and over again. That's why his scams come off without a hitch.
Like, Bugs can nail it, but how do the other toons do it? How do the other toons just instantly start mimicking seemingly random gestures? And the thing is maybe they're not random gestures. Maybe there is a series of gestures that everybody knows to do in front of a mirror to check if it's you. And all you've got to do is learn
like there was like
else's...
a PSA. Well, it's like a duck and cover video.
Yeah, like all you've got to do is learn somebody else's moves, and you know that they will do those exact... So it's like knowing someone's PIN number.
Right, so everybody has their own code.
Yeah, their own unique ones. And if you can learn them, it doesn't matter what you look like, because they'll be like, oh, well, they're doing the exact same moves. It must be me.
And it goes in... with their inability to identify what type of animal anyone is at any point.
That's possibly because of their inability to identify the differences between things. Like, to check that it's you in a mirror, that you're looking in a mirror, you've got to have a secret code. So, like, special dance moves or whatever. But if you can learn
And Bugs would definitely be able to get that information from Elmer just due to his Groundhog Day ability.
Yeah, of course he would.
I just think we haven't covered it in a while, so briefly... give an overview of Bugs' TARDIS, which is time and relative dimension in soil. Basically, Bugs can travel in time and space as long as he can submerge himself in any tiny amount of soil.
Yep.
As long as, I reckon if it's an area that his feet cover and or they're entirely touching soil, that's enough soil.
He can sink into it, because we've seen him manifest so many different things out of soil.
Yeah, and it allows Bugs Bunny to time travel and, just get around the world.
Yeah, really quickly, and a lot quicker than rabbit tracks would allow him to do.
Yeah, I mean, the rabbit tracks are great.
Yeah,
but
they're really good for rabbits who can't travel in soil.
Yeah, or if there's no soil.
Or if there's no soil.
But yeah, just thought I'd cover that, because we're talking very, very broadly about it. I thought
It has been a while since we've kind of spoken about his TARDIS powers.
Yeah, but yeah, so when he's getting all these different disguises, I reckon houseplants are Elmer's downfall. I reckon he's overlooked that,
yes.
or he's underestimated the extent of Bugs' powers.
Well, that's it. Like I suppose because
he might think he can sink into the ground and then he can get anywhere within that ground.
He's encountered him out in the wild a lot, so it seems likely that he's thinking, so it's just that he can travel in the soil. It's not any soil linked to anywhere. I don't think
just within a linked bit of soil he can get around really fast. Because Elmer, I don't think has been given any reason to believe that Bugs can time travel.
No. I can't see why, because unless it's a visibly different Bugs, which there is, but we've never seen a visibly different Bugs in the same thing, where we've seen multiple iterations of Bugs in the same cartoon.
Yeah,
we've never seen the different looking ones, so we've never seen the ones which are closer to like Happy Rabbit. So it's real early Bugs.
And even if that were the case, he's never really been given a direct comparison.
No,
because he seems to flit quite a lot between recognizing Bugs and just thinking Bugs is a rabbit.
Well, because there was a point where he was like, "I hate little grey rabbits."
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he's just like he just sees a grey rabbit, and it's not until they start manifesting certain things that he's like, "Oh, it's that one. It's that little grey rabbit."
Because when he says I'm going to get that pesky wabbit, he doesn't mean that pesky wabbit who's been bugging me all this time.
No,
he means that one right there.
Yeah, the one he's after at the time.
Yeah, this specific grey rabbit.
Yes,
the entire race of which have been the bane of my existence for the last 9 years.
Oh God, he's had a terrible time with Bugs, really, hasn't he?
But yeah, so he really has. I mean, that's why he's built his house up on the bricks.
Yeah,
but he's just not quite. But he's getting there. He's starting to work it out.
He is. What I did find interesting was right at the very end, other than before the whole bursting out the drum saying the end bit, was Bugs talking directly to the audience and pointing out to Elmer that people in the audience were manifesting.
Yeah, what do we think was going on there? Because he points out people in the audience.
Yeah.
And we've got to presume this is just where the portal opened at the time in 1945.
It seemed to open up in a theatre because he was definitely saying that person in the 17th row.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much always the theatre at this point, right?
Yes.
But I don't know if he just got Elmer so sort of riled up and panicked that he could just point out anyone, and go, oh no, they're going furry. Oh no, and like, or if that were like is a thing that actually happened, because at the end, red spots start appearing on the screen. He goes, and everything's going to go black, and it's like, is Bugs?
I think he
playing
has
a goof
certain
on the audience.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what was happening. I think Bugs is manifesting those spots in front of the portal,
because also he does come back to say, and that's the end.
Yeah.
So like, not everything goes black.
No. So I'm thinking that it was just.
He's just.
Bugs
It was just a little goof. It was a little like, ah.
Yeah. And now the question is whether or not he was doing that in front of the portal, but because when he said everything goes black, is Bugs developing some level of control over the portal?
Ooh. Maybe. I mean, but it didn't close in.
No, it didn't.
Like
it
the
just
circle,
went
it
black.
just went black.
Yeah. Which means that could be achieved by just putting a black screen in front of the portal hole.
Yeah, but nothing came up.
No.
Or
No.
like it just went black. So I don't know. Maybe maybe he can at least shroud it.
Yeah.
For a moment, or
so that's something that's worth looking out for.
because it definitely didn't close the portal.
No.
I don't think he's going to. Well,
No,
he might develop it, but like I don't think he's developed the power to open and close the portal.
No.
But yeah, maybe to make it, not visible through the portal.
Yeah. So that is something worth looking out for, I think.
Yeah, we're going to watch for Bugs increase
Because
control.
if he gets portal control, like. Ooh.
Well, exactly.
Oh God.
But I think that's the real big take home from this one.
Yeah, I think it is.
That and prestidigitation powers,
Which is cool.
Yeah,
it's
always nice to see Bugs develop a new power.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know, it's getting a bit like Superman compared to nearly every other superhero, in that like nearly every superhero has a defined set of powers, and then Superman just kind of seems to
do whatever he
get
wants.
them whenever.
I mean, it's possible that we're not seeing Bugs developing new powers. It's just he's using his already equipped powers differently.
Maybe.
It's possible that he's always had prestidigitation, but he's just never manifested it in that way. He's used it to do other things.
Yeah, because I guess like a lot of those sorts of things kind of work as a coverall for other powers. So like if you can shapeshift, then you can fly.
Yes.
And like
yeah, exactly. So like, I don't think it's that he's developing lots and lots of powers. I think it's just that there's one or two powers, and he's using them.
He's just finding creative ways to use them.
Yeah, I think so.
Fair enough. Right, shall we move on?
Yeah.
We've got a new character.
We have. It's Melissa Duck.
Melissa Duck.
So
she's in here with Daffy.
A new love interest?
Possibly. I already feel sorry for her.
I mean, I already feel sorry for her. I'm wondering what's happening.
Although, over time, Daffy has become like one of the least culpable cartoons.
He's possibly one of the nicest characters we have.
Like, if you told me that 20 episodes ago,
I wouldn't have. I'd be like,
I'd have been like, no, he's a dangerous psychopath. And I'm not saying he's not a dangerous psychopath.
He's just the nicest of all of the dangerous psychopaths that we have.
Saying nearly everybody else has surpassed him in villainy and terror.
It's interesting, isn't it?
So now I'm actually sort of rooting for him.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Daffy. I mean, I always was, but now I'm like, he's the good guy. In all of this, Daffy's the good guy.
Yeah,
who never would have thought that?
Never thought that was going to happen. So let's give this one a go. It's called Nasty Quacks. It's a Daffy and Melissa Duck number from December 1st, 1945.
Oh, it's the last one from 1945
the last one
as well.
from 1945.
Oh, right. Should we get involved?
Let's give it a go. Okay, so this one's a real eye-opener.
Yeah.
And then a real eye-closer near the end, because we really thought we had nailed it. And, like, I still think our overall theory is close.
Yeah, I think so.
But I think there's, like, this is like the first chapter in that.
Yeah, so this seemed like the starting of Daffy Duck. So Daffy actually comes from the Duck family, and they are humans.
Yeah, he was bought for the
As
little
a
girl,
pet.
Agnes.
Agnes Duck.
Agnes Duck.
Yeah.
We didn't get the guy's first name, I don't think, but
No.
I think it was said, but I couldn't make it out.
Yeah, he was
But
crammed
he's
into
someone
it.
Duck.
Yeah,
it's the Duck family.
It's because
Duck
Daffy
Dynasty, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, right. So the little duck grows up very quickly. Now, the first thing I noticed, whether or not this was just a way of showing that time was passing, or whether or not this is actually the way their months work, every month has 30 days, and every first day of the month is a Friday.
That's just the way of it.
It would seem so, or at least that's where that calendar was portraying
It would seem an odd thing to just change the format of months to fit one brief montage you wanted to do.
Yeah, it does. It does seem odd.
So that's something we now know, is that every month in the Tooniverse has 30 days.
Yeah.
And they all start on a Friday.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good, because that means you get a lot of Fridays.
Yeah. It means that when you first start a month, it's the weekend.
It seems like something that, although this is before, but like it seems like the kind of thing that the laissez-faire Toon government would...
It seems like a monkey government thing.
Yeah.
It really does.
It really does.
But
yeah, so he actually came up in this family, the duck family,
yeah,
who are humans. But we know that, like, early on when we met him, it was General Daffy.
Yeah.
Like,
he was leading an army of ducks in
yeah.
some sort of, like, coup.
And we didn't think he had passed his trouser test. But now I'm thinking that he had passed his trouser test and has at some point had it revoked. And the behaviour in this episode of both parties, of Mr. Duck and Daffy Duck, would explain the seed of that. So basically, I mean, Daffy, as we know, is a nightmare. Like, he's being his usual Daffy self.
Yeah.
And it's trying the patience of Mr. Duck, and they get into a full-on fight.
Yeah, like a sword fight with butter knives.
Yeah.
Over the breakfast table.
As you point out, he seems very angry with Daffy, but also very ready to have a full-on, like, duel with butter knives around the house.
And he seemed like it didn't seem like a new occurrence. Like, this has happened before.
Yeah.
This guy was well prepared.
But that culminates with Daffy kicking him down the stairs.
Yeah.
And then, like, he basically, it goes on. He tries to lure Daffy with the scent of a female duck round a corner and then lop his head off with an axe. Luckily, Daffy can tuck his head into his body. But then he gets into the sort of, oh, I see, you don't want me here. Like, oh, fine, I'll go. And he's getting all his stuff.
Yeah.
There's an issue with that. We'll cover it a bit, but like we'll come back to it. And he's going to leave. The little girl doesn't want him to leave, so the dad buys her a new duck, like a little baby duck.
Little baby duckling.
And she immediately is just forgotten about Daffy and is dealing with that. So Daffy gives the baby duck a load of vitamin B12
to help it grow.
And it grows into, like, I mean, I guess that's what a sexy duck looks like.
Yeah, sexy lady duck is what it grows into by all accounts.
Yeah, and then they, like, the dad comes home that day and is like, oh, no more Daffy Duck, this is great. And then finds Daffy and this grown-up sexy female duck and a load of ducklings.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to count them, but there was a lot.
Yeah, but, I mean, I think we're pretty sure Daffy's had several families before.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a lot of kids knocking about.
Yeah, I think by all accounts this is potentially the first one.
Yeah, it's possible. But yeah, like, then Daffy gets booted out of the house. Oh no, Daffy's been booted out of the house once already. But like, yeah. So like,
it ends on that.
It ends on that, and like, the guy clearly wants him out. He's angry.
Yeah,
like, so
he's real angry.
This is clearly going to continue. So my feeling is that Daffy either, like, this continues and he gets kicked out.
Yeah.
Or that when the human demarcation comes in, because this has to be early.
Yeah, so
this has to be before we met Daffy. So this is pre-1937.
Going back in time.
Yeah, so this is between 1927 and 1937.
Yeah.
And yeah, so either he gets kicked out, or when the human demarcation comes in, because he is technically part of the duck family, he gets turfed out as well with everyone else.
Yeah.
So they're my two theories.
No, I like them. They seem like solid theories. The one bit I got hung up on was when Daffy put his coat on and packed his bag and left the house saying, "Oh, I can tell where I'm not wanted." He then comes back and says to Mr. Duck, oh, I can't go anywhere because the government isn't allowing non-essential travel.
Yeah,
so like that would fit in with the 1945 scene.
Yeah.
But that doesn't fit in with our story because we know that he, like, you know, first turns up as General Daffy as part of this army. So it has to be a past episode unless they're showing how he grew up and he left to go live in the pond and has now come back to join the family as an adult.
No, I don't think so. But I mean, there's a lot of things like so. The limited travel in 1945 would work for our side of the portal and the Toon side of the portal, but there's nothing to say that there hasn't been issues on the Toon side of the portal.
Yeah. I mean, it's very possible that the government just doesn't allow non-essential travel as standard, which is why so many Toons have found ways of travelling not using public transport.
But especially if this is on the run-up to human demarcation, like, they're probably going to at least make it difficult for people to sort of move about.
Yeah.
Like, because they don't want people, you know, coming over the border, as it were. Yeah. So that's a possibility. Otherwise, we know he goes off and becomes some sort of general. Daffy, is there already a war on?
Possibly. So there's possibly already a war between, or at least beginning between humans and Toons, and
well, that's what I mean. Like,
Daffy
I think
goes and joins the Duck Squadron.
Yeah. That's where I'm currently sitting with this.
Yeah,
I think that works for me as something to to keep in mind going onward, and then if we get something that's like throws it out the water,
earlier on you said that Daffy has potentially had his trouser test revoked.
Well, I think he was born into a human family. Or the trouser test didn't exist yet.
I'm thinking he hadn't had it, which is potentially why he gets kicked out with the family, because he's not...
Because he's human.
Well, like, by all accounts.
But so far as the government is concerned, he's a human.
He hasn't passed his trouser test, and he's living with a human family, and therefore he gets turfed out. He doesn't get to live in society with the rest of the sentient Toons. Because, yes, he is sentient, but he hasn't proved his worth.
So maybe he didn't think that through. Maybe he thought from his position, when the humans got kicked out, he would just get the house and
Yeah, exactly. With the kids.
Yeah.
Whereas that didn't work.
I can see that. That didn't work because he hadn't passed his trouser test because he was technically human.
Yeah.
I like it. There we go. 1946. Let's do this.
Let's get into 1946.
It's Daffy again.
It is Daffy, reissued as book review.
So it's book review, as in, like, you know, a rhythm and blues review.
Yeah.
Reissued as book review, as in, let's review this book.
Yeah. Interesting.
So let's see what kind of review it is.
Let's see what this is all about.
So it's the first one from 1946. It's a Daffy Duck number called Book Review from January 5th, 1946.
So
get amongst it. I've reviewed the data.
Yep.
It's definitely review REVUE, not review REVIEW.
It would seem that way.
Whoever reissued it as book review with an IEW
has whiffed it.
Yeah,
whiffed it real hard.
So it's sort of resumes a concept we've seen before, which is the characters in books sort of being alive.
Yeah.
Previously, it seemed to happen when the book was left open.
Yeah, and they could pop out.
They could pop out, like, but like right now, it seems to me like this, whatever bookshop this is, has been sort of set up as like a community for book characters, because every character who came alive seemed to be coming out of a window on the front of the book. Like,
yeah,
like someone's cut a bit out the cover.
Yeah.
It, like, if it was a blank cover, it's just sort of a square.
Yeah, so it's been cut out to allow it to be open so that they can come out.
And if it's got images on the cover, it was always ones with an image of a window.
Yeah.
Where they've like cut a bit out and the character can come out. So it's another sort of like, you know...
It's just another aspect of society, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think this is a second-hand bookshop? So, like, new books in new bookshops are kept closed, but in second-hand bookshops, to give them second life, they were like, oh no, we'll let these guys actually exist. They've done their job as a primary book.
Yeah, it's more of a reservation.
Yeah.
But like, so because they've definitely set the whole place up for the characters. Like,
yeah, definitely.
They've got books on their side as like tables, and they're all sitting around and they're doing a little
they've got
jazz
lights
show.
set up and stuff like that.
And the Daffy in this episode came out of a book. So I would say this isn't Daffy. I would say this is what happens. Like if you render someone's image in a book in the Toon world, a tiny version of them could come out of it.
So these were it came out of a Looney Tunes Merry Melodies comics.
Yeah. So like
they had like an annual, like a Beano annual or Dandy annual that you used to get, and they've got one of them in there.
So who knows how many tiny versions of Looney Tunes are running around in the world?
It's possible
they'd be real small.
They would, but I'm thinking that they have a limit. Like, you know, there has to be something limiting them. That,
do you think it's like an astral projection of some kind?
Well, I'm thinking maybe like, you know, it's if they spend too long out of their own book, they start to
maybe they have to get back in.
Yeah,
because we didn't see it in the previous one where the books were left open and Bookworm was there. Like, they sort of got out for the night.
Yeah,
but they went back in, sort of like Toy Story.
Yeah, so I'm thinking they've got either a limited range that they can only go so far from their own book, but they can't pick their own book up.
Do you reckon they hit the side, or do you reckon they just and they're gone?
Like maybe they just start getting weaker and weaker.
Their hands start fading away, like in Back to the Future.
Potentially, or potentially, like if they go too far, their book ends up being erased.
They are deleted from the book.
Yeah,
they're just not in the book
and
anymore.
If they get hurt, they ain't not coming back.
It's like in a video game where you just run off into the hills and it goes, "Return to the mission area."
Yes,
return to the mission area.
Yeah, that's what I think.
They get that flashing in their eyes.
Yeah,
return to your book, or you will be destroyed.
Yeah, you will be deleted. Yeah, so I'm thinking what stops there just being loads of characters running about is there has to be a limit to that power. So whether or not it's they have to return after a certain amount of time, or they just can't go beyond a certain range beyond their book.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, but it definitely seems like we're seeing a new section of society here.
Yeah,
which
we've sort of seen it once, but it was like
up.
it was like
but that
accidental
was
before.
Yeah, whereas this has been purposely set up.
Do you reckon Bookworm did it? Do you reckon it's like a charitable?
Well, that's it.
Because we haven't seen Bookworm in a while.
We haven't, but we did talk about this being one of Bookworm's powers was that ability. So it's possible that he's like, you know, just retired and opened up a book reservation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure that I think it's one of his powers anymore. I think it's just something he may have discovered happens.
Yeah, possibly.
And gone, this can't stand.
Yeah, you've got all these people trapped in books.
Yeah.
Let's let them out. So, has Bookworm become a freedom fighter?
I think it's more like a charitable organisation. I think it's more like a conservationist.
Right, okay. Okay, well, we must see him again. Bookworm must come up again. Cause
I hope so, because I quite liked Bookworm.
Yeah, and last time we saw him, it didn't say last appearance of Bookworm.
Yeah, and I kind of want to know...
And it has done in the past.
kind of want to know, like... Because we didn't see him sort of split from Sniffles. We saw, like... their antics get more and more perilous until Bookworm clearly wasn't happy in that friendship.
Yeah, and I think
I'd like to see
alcohol problem probably caused that.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But I'd like to see Bookworm outside of that situation, so you see how it's affected him.
Yeah, because I mean, like we always assumed that Sniffles was sort of like European, and therefore Bookworm would be as well. So it's possible that what we're seeing there is actually just this is a secondhand bookshop in Europe somewhere. Yeah,
maybe.
It's
the street lamps and stuff. They did it did all have that distinctly.
It did.
Like the Sniffles episodes.
Yes.
Because all the US episodes seem to be set in sort of either in the city or in like suburbia.
Yeah.
And this looked quite quaint.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. So that does lend a bit of credence to that.
But apart from that, I don't think that episode feeds into much else. It's something that's going on in a very isolated space.
Yeah, it's nice to see a different aspect of society, but I don't think there's no questions there because they didn't.
Yeah, it's a new aspect introduced, but it's not really clashing with anything else.
No. I think I'm quite happy just
move on,
move along. Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we move on to the next cartoon, I think we should just take a quick look in the Porky Piggy Bank.
That's probably not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the good fun part of the show where we
Say thank you.
say thank you
Yeah.
to you guys for coming on this journey with us.
It's a good journey so far.
I mean, some of it's been good.
Yeah, some of it's been horribly racist and there's been a war.
It's been good of late.
Yes.
But it's had its ups and downs, and it's nice to have someone to share those ups and downs with.
It is. It is.
We do the show for free, and that's not going to stop.
Nope. Still going to do it.
But it's the kind of time where we just come asking if you want to support the show to maybe help us out a little bit.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
I mean, don't feel the pressure if you can't afford it, or you plain don't want to. That's fine. But if you've been enjoying the show, please consider going over to kaiju.fm and clicking support us, and maybe chucking some cash dollar our way on Patreon, even for as little as $1 a month, which is less than 25 cents an episode.
It's next to nothing.
It would really, really help us out.
It would.
Aside from that, other ways you can help us out, please give us a review if you listen on iTunes.
Rate us, review us. We need enough reviews to get at least a rating on iTunes.
And if whatever service you listen to podcasts on has that feature, please do it there.
Yeah.
It
helps
just
our visibility. Really does. The more people who see it, the more people are likely to listen to it, and therefore the more people you can talk to about it or talk at about it.
Yeah. And do that anyway. Word of mouth is really how we get about.
Yeah.
So please just tell your friends. Otherwise, come to the live show.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
Also come to the live show.
Also
if
come
you
to the
do
live
that,
show.
Come to the live show.
Yeah, if you don't do that, come to the live show.
Come to the live show.
Yeah.
It's on June 13th in Reading at the Pavilion. We're going to be showing Who Framed Roger Rabbit and then doing a live show afterwards. It'll be our first birthday show. So you can come and get involved in that and
you can
have a chat.
Come down, meet us, bake us some biscuits, bring them down. We will eat them for you.
Cal's getting very thin.
I am getting quite thin. Doing a lot of training,
A lot of cardio, not doing a lot of biscuits.
Yeah, I need a lot of homemade biscuits. Possibly.
You don't have to make Cal biscuits.
If you could do little icing drawings of our faces on them, though, I'd like that.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
But the best part of the live show is only £3. That's a real cheap night out.
You
get to see a film you already know is good on the big screen with a bunch of like-minded folks, and then get to just chat bollocks about it for a podcast.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be great.
It is. It's going to be
so
fantastic.
come on down to that. And otherwise, thanks for listening, and please do consider heading over to the support us page and helping us out a little.
Every little helps.
Every little does help.
Yeah.
Let's watch some cartoons.
I think we probably should.
Okay, we've been running a little long this episode. There's those first two episodes.
Yeah,
they
gave us a
surprising amount
lot
to think
talk
about.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the last one this week. It's called Baseball Bugs. It's a Bugs Bunny number, if you didn't get that from the title.
I thought it was a baseball number.
It's also a baseball number.
Yeah,
but
well, we assume. Baseball's not credited, though.
Baseball's appeared once before.
That is true.
In that one where Porky was a baseball announcer.
Ah, baseball.
So it's the second appearance of baseball.
Second appearance of baseball.
I don't know what appearance of Bugs it is. So hard to tell.
Yeah, exactly. It could be so many.
This is Baseball Bugs from February 2nd, 1946. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because it we joked, but it is pretty much, this is the second appearance of baseball.
Yeah.
Like stuff from the previous baseball episode with Porky seemed to have held, because that was where we first saw humans sort of coming back into society, and they're only the massive humans.
Yeah, because it was like this half giant person.
Yeah, it's like, what's your everyday toon going to do about that?
Not a lot.
Because he was like an ogre.
Yeah, he was. He was huge.
One of the teams in this, the Gas House Gorillas, are all like that.
Yeah, they were all essentially just that guy cloned.
So they're so I think it's pretty much a team of like these big brutish humans who work their way back into society.
Yeah.
And the other team, the Teetotalers, Like they're all like 90 odd.
Yeah, so I'm thinking they were one of
think
the
they were a
only
baseball
original teams.
I think they were a baseball team when the humans got turfed out, and they're still a baseball team.
Yeah, they're
they've
the
come
only
back
ones who are there to actually keep going.
because the audience also is very human heavy.
Yes.
So like I think it's very much become like part of the human identity in the Tooniverse is baseball. Yeah. Like that's like their anchor.
They are using sentient balls by all accounts.
Yeah, that seems
so. One of them
a
hits
bit
a
much.
screamer, and it is literally screaming.
I think hitting a screamer though is you've got a regular ball.
Yeah,
and you
when
hit it so hard,
it stresses it out.
It stresses it out. It becomes sentient.
And the thing is that like we have seen that when things turn sentient, their first moments are very they are highly strung.
Yeah, you're just sort of flung into the world.
Yeah,
like some weird homunculus.
Yeah. Oh my god. And yeah, I mean, it looked pained, but there again, it had just been smacked by a bat. Yeah, and I don't mean a winged thing.
Yeah. Oh, the Bat Boy.
Yeah. Literally had bat wings. So flying about.
Like, I mean, and that brought up a lot. I don't think it's going to affect much. I just was like, wait. So I mean, that's sort of people just being employed because of specific physicality, but it also is a hideous mutant Bat Boy.
Yeah,
and he's not being employed because his physicality is functional. He's being employed because his physicality is a pun.
Yes, yeah. Either that
so
or...
like, that was a little microcosmic story for me there. It's like, what is this Bat Boy?
what's he about?
It was literally like a little blonde kid.
Yeah, with bat wings.
With bat wings. And he hovered in with 3 bats for Bugs to choose from.
It is possible that they weren't his bat wings.
Go on.
Well, just... you know, like if you gave somebody a bicycle and they cycled around on it, you wouldn't be like, oh, they've got a bicycle attached to the bottom of their body.
Yeah, but I also wouldn't be like, oh, here's the bicycle boy.
Yeah, no, but I'm thinking the Bat Boy is given a set of wings to put on, like you know, a bike to cycle around. So
yes, because
we didn't see that. We don't know they were fused to his body.
Yeah, but if you give someone a bicycle to do a job, they're still a delivery boy. They're not the bicycle boy. Unless they have a bicycle with a bicycle on the back and they deliver you a bicycle.
But like my point is to be the Bat Boy, you have to wear the bat wings and fly about.
But how did that start?
Because they thought it'd be funny. Oh, the Bat Boy has to wear bat wings. Let's do that. Because how did the Bat Boy come about? What's his origin? Like, where's he come
I just
from?
like the idea that they were auditioning, they were interviewing for a Bat Boy.
And some human child came up with bat wings and went,
so what makes you qualified to be the Bat Boy? And he unfurls these bat wings and they go,
You got it. You got it.
You got that X Factor, kid.
It's a yes from me.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll think that is... Maybe that's the way all interview processes work. Like, you've just got a panel of people... You've just got to audition, and then it's just actually, I mean, we know how the jobs work. He killed the last Bat Boy.
Yeah,
he outbatted the last Bat Boy.
That's where I thought you were going with they may not be his wings. I thought you meant he just battered the previous Bat Boy,
stole his wings.
Had them fused to his body, said, I'm the Bat Boy now.
I outbatted you.
Yeah. I mean, or if they are his wings, he definitely outbatted the Bat Boy. There was a previous Bat Boy who just walked out of bats, and then this homunculus Bat Boy walked in and the boy with the bats just handed them the fuck over and left.
He's like, no, fair cop, you got this.
You are hideous, and you are the Bat Boy.
Or they both part-timed in a fish shop, and he just batted more fish than the other one.
No, that would be Batter Boy.
Outbatted him?
No, it'd be outbattered him.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
Words.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a very small part of them.
It was literally about 3 seconds. So we've covered that over the last 3 minutes.
Yep. Spun that out.
So essentially, there's these 2 teams, the big, brutish team and the little old teetotalers team. Bugs basically comes in and challenges them to single-handedly beat the gas house gorillas.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be using his toon powers.
Not really, no.
And, like, I have a theory about why this is, which is because I think Michael Jordan, and I know we're not meant to talk about Space Jam, but like I remember the broad strokes of Space Jam, right? I haven't seen it in a long time, but I do know that at the start of that film, Michael Jordan is playing baseball.
He is.
So I think Bugs has in some way gotten wind of like that event that's going to... These aliens are going to come to the planet and they're going to, challenge people to whatever sport Michael Jordan is playing. They're very keen on Michael Jordan.
Yeah, they seem to have vendetta against Michael Jordan.
But Bugs, from the information he has, is like, are they going to come and steal the powers of like Ken Griffey Jr. and challenge him to baseball, or are they going to come and steal the powers of like LeBron James and challenge him to basketball?
Yeah. So he is doing his homework on both sports. And getting good at them.
Yeah, so I think in this situation, he's not using his toon powers because he needs his toon powers to elevate him above the greatest sportsman.
Yeah,
in that field, and so he needs to get his fundamentals down.
Yeah,
he needs to get able to at least give them a good run, just on his own.
Yeah,
and then add toon powers to the mix.
And he's doing it on his own as well. And that's pretty powerful. But it's possible at this point he doesn't know he's going to be able to wrangle all the other tunes in.
Yeah, he's
thinking it's just going to be him and Michael Jordan.
And Michael Jordan, I don't think, was good at baseball.
No. So he has to be like, right, I'm going to be carrying Michael.
I'm going to have to help my good buddy Michael Jordan and Bill Murray.
Yeah,
it's just going to be
I'm going to be carrying the team, so I best get good
because
at
he's currently zipping around just trying to assemble that team.
Yeah,
like the first Avengers film.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. Like the end credit sequences of all previous
with Bugs Bunny.
Discrete, it's just Bugs Bunny popping up everywhere, just trying to curve people's paths towards this.
Yeah, because the thing is, like watching this episode, it did feel like quite a late Bugs. Like he looked and acted very much like a much more mature Bugs. There was no name calling.
Yeah, he was quite. Just subdued.
He was. Like I say, he was
like
much
his
more
most
mature.
manic. His most manic was actually when he popped out the hole at the start and was just
shouting
the crowd. But that's because everyone else was doing that. He was just watching the baseball.
He's joining in.
It's just that he can shout louder apparently than a crowd of thousands of people. That's another power he has because his voice cuts through, and they take offence. Because he chases. It's 96-95 at the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah,
and the guy from the Gas House Gorillas hits it out of the park, and Bugs goes to chase it down, and he gets in a cab, but unfortunately it's driven by one of the team.
Yeah.
And so he gets on the bus, and he chases the ball, but he doesn't use any of his toon powers even then.
No. Good public service, bus service though.
Yeah, it travels at the speed of a baseball.
Yeah.
Like, that's been absolutely smashed out the park. Like, I really think he would have used his toon powers at that point.
See,
because also, like,
but it is possible that by the time he went, it's gone too far. The cab bit's not going to work. He was on concrete.
Maybe.
So when he was in the ballpark, he had a chance.
Yeah.
But he left the ballpark and he was running along the street.
Yeah, I guess he's in the city as well. Like, he can go into the soil. But he still need to come out of some soil. I mean, a pot plant again, I guess.
Yeah,
pot plant or a flower bed. But he doesn't know where that ball's going.
No, and the thing is like I say, he
needs eyes on the ball. That's the trouble.
Literally,
he's never going to catch it otherwise.
No, he's not.
He'd just pop out and go, "Where is it?"
Yeah.
So maybe any, catching heavy sport, his toon powers aren't that useful because he'd pop out the ground. Even if he popped out the ground, having finally calculated sort of where it's going to land, he's going to pop out the ground. He's not going to have the hand-eye coordination to catch that ball.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So that's
It's a shame for Bugs that stadiums are in cities. That's the.
Yeah. It's going to be a tough one for him. Because if he's going to start practicing all these different sports, he is literally just going to have to.
I don't think he's going to do loads of different sports though.
No,
I think he's somehow got wind that, like, Michael Jordan specifically is pivotal in all this.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see how this unfolds.
Otherwise, like, I would have thought we'd have seen him playing. I don't know. It just seems too much of a coincidence that the two sports we have seen him play
the two
are basketball and baseball.
Yeah,
the two sports.
Because that's it. Like we haven't seen him do American football. I'm sure we will.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
But it depends how seriously he takes it.
But yeah, it just seems too much of a coincidence that the two things we've seen him do are, and we didn't see him play a game of basketball, but we saw him like honing his skills.
Yeah.
And
he's dribbling.
So you've seen basketball and baseball. It just seems like too much of a coincidence to me.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on this.
We'll have to wait and see.
Keep an eye on this, which we are, fortunately.
Yeah. That's literally the thing we do. We're going to leave it there for this week. We thought we'd get one more episode in, but we ran a bit long. So tune in next week for an extra character.
Yes. Yeah, well, there's, by the looks of it, 2 extra characters.
Ooh, well, sort of. One of them is not capitalised, and I think it's just like that is the thing that's in the cartoon.
Yeah, possibly.
But never mind that. Tune in next week for the continuation of this thrilling tale.
Yeah, more shenanigans.
More shenanigans. There's always more shenanigans.
Always more.
Okay, till then.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Bye. Oh, yeah, come to the live show.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
Do it.